placed into conference in muted mode.
On behalf of CAI and the IT Metrics and Productivity Institute, we would like to welcome everyone today to this webinar on Rethinking Field Service, Hidden Opportunities for Revenue and Success. Today's webinar has been developed by Rosemary Coates, President of Blue Silk Consulting. My name is Michael Malutis, and I'm Director of Marketing for CAI. You will be able to hear Rosemary and myself as panelists, but as a reminder, all other audio lines have been muted. Rosemary Coates is president of Blue Silk Consulting and an Amazon.com top-selling author. Prior to Blue Silk Consulting, she was a managing director at SAP, a supply chain practice leader at KPMG, Pete Marwick, and Answer Consulting, and a regional manager at Hewlett-Packard. She has over 20 years of consulting experience with over 80 clients worldwide. Rosemary is a lifetime credentialed instructor with California colleges. She has taught management, international business, importing, and exporting for 10 years. She is also a licensed U.S. customs broker. Rosemary earned an MBA from the University of San Diego and a BS in business from Arizona State University. Rosemary, thanks for being here today. Before we get started with today's webinar, is there anything else that you'd like to tell us either about Blue Silk Consulting or about any of your books?
Oh, thank you. Yes, we're a small firm and management consulting primarily, but we also do systems implementation. So we are focused on global supply chains, and field service, which I'm going to talk about today, is one of our primary service offerings.
Great. Thanks so much, Rosemary. Today's webinar is also brought to you and sponsored by CAI. CAI is a global IT services and outsourcing firm that is currently managing active engagements with over 100 Fortune 1000 companies and government agencies around the world. CAI is delighted to be here today to facilitate today's discussion, and we are looking forward to a productive and informative webinar. Before we start, we do have some housekeeping notes. If you have any questions during the course of the webinar, please feel free to submit them throughout the presentation via your question and answer interface. We will get to all of your questions at the conclusion of the webinar during the question and answer session, but I would encourage you to post your questions as they arise. If anybody has any audio or visual technical difficulties, you can also use the question and answer interface to notify us, and I will personally respond to those issues in real time in order to get you up to speed as quickly as possible. I'm happy to announce that today's webinar and all future webinars has been accredited by the Project Management Institute with 1 PDU credit. You will be eligible to receive exactly 1 credit for today's webinar, and the code for that credit will be emailed to you in a confirmation of attendance email within 24 hours of the conclusion of today's webinar. If anybody has any questions about what to do with this code once they receive it, we do have instructions on our main webinar site, and that URL will be displayed at the conclusion of today's event. Please note that if you are not a premium ITMPI member, there will be a small processing fee for accessing that PDU code. For those of you who would like to review today's webinar more than once, or if there is a webinar in the future that you might miss for some reason, we do record all live webinars, and these recordings are regularly uploaded to our library of recordings, which you can access anytime at itmpi.org/library. Please keep in mind that there is approximately a 5 to 10 business day turnaround time from when a live webinar is complete to when it actually shows up on the library site. Please also note once again that if you are not a premium member with the ITMPI, there will be a small fee for accessing these recordings. For those of you who would like to become premium members with the ITMPI, this will give you a whole series of benefits, including unlimited free access to all of our recordings, which is a library of over 400 PDU accredited recordings, as well as unlimited free PDU codes, not just on our recorded webinars, but also on the live webinars. We do about 100 of these live webinars a year. So it's really one price of $179 per year that gives you unlimited PDUs and will satisfy all your educational and professional development needs in one place. And we have a vast range of topics to choose from. We have over 200 presenters who have built up this library with us over the past 5 or 6 years. So you should be very satisfied with the amount of material that we have for that $179. We also, if you want to subscribe, you can go to itmpi.org/subscribe, We also are running promotional right now for the month of March. If you purchase a premium membership between now and March 31st, you will be given a coupon for 50% off any of our advanced PDU accredited courses. These are much more intensive and comprehensive online courses that are accredited in some cases up to 32 PDUs apiece. 50% off as many of them as you want for the month of March. You can find out about that by going to the website, and you'll also be getting an email about that later today. So that being said, we are ready to begin today's webcast. Rosemary, you now have control of the presentation. Please proceed.
Okay, thank you very much, Michael. Good morning, everyone. I happen to be in Silicon Valley, so it's on the early side here, and a little rainy this morning. I know some of you are probably in a snowy location. Over the next 30 minutes or so, we're going to warm you up by talking about field service and hopefully give you some new ideas regarding how field service organizations can work and generate profits within your own organization. I've written a couple of books. The one on the bottom right, 42 Rules for Sourcing and Manufacturing in China, is a top seller on Amazon, and I've been doing global supply chain business and have been using my book as a springboard for talking about China business for a while. And over the past, excuse me, the past couple of years, Jim Riley, my colleague with me in my consulting business, and I have written a second book called 42 Rules for Superior Field Service. Jim has been in the field service business for about 30 years, and I've done a number of consulting projects around field service, so we got together and decided to write the second book, and it's not quite out yet. It is available on Amazon by the end of this month. It's still in editing, but should be available shortly if you're interested. We covered a lot of topics, so each 42 Rules book has 42 rules, and including a number of different topics related to field service in this case, and you can see they're listed down the right, the various topics that we're including. So what I'm going to do today is I've picked a few of these topics to talk about and that I think are kind of important and to generate some interest in the field service field. So field service the old way. You may remember the Maytag repairman. This little picture is down at the bottom there. There was a lot of advertising done by Maytag Corporation suggesting that the quality of their products was so high that the field service people, the repairmen, had nothing to do but sit around, and that it was boring. But in reality, we know that customers recognize the equipment needs to be serviced from time to time. So no matter whether you're dealing with big computer systems or you're dealing with power generation in an oil field or you're dealing with some kind of implementation of a product in your home, from time to time, stuff breaks and has to be serviced. And customers recognize this and are not upset by it, so they don't expect to have perfect equipment for the rest of their natural lives, and in fact, they expect to have some service situation. And so, as a result, the field service organizations related to equipment manufacturing have grown by leaps and bounds over the last, say, 20, 25 years. In general, though, field service is still thought of as being a burden to operations. So it's kind of out there, usually a stepchild in an organization and not well integrated into the ordinary day-to-day transactions of a business. Field service is sort of a stepchild because it produces evidence of product failures. So